name are you doing here?
Who's that? Francis Torpy? Oh my goodness, how long has it been?
Since high school. Last time I saw you was at graduation. And you're still the foxiest valedictorian we ever had. What have you been up to?
I'm an intern and research assistant for Chad Cash.
Get out of here. I'm an intern for Harry Hare.
Goodness, Francis, don't tell me you morphed into a liberal.
And you're a conservative? Everything's backwards. In high school, you were the liberal. When did you sell out?
Sell out? I'd love to. I'm just looking for an offer. What about you, Mr. Football Captain? Talk about conservative. I thought all you cared about was making touchdown passes and chasing cheerleaders.
Hey, just because I played football in high school doesn't mean I'm a dumb jock.
If I recall, you ran for class president.
If you recall, right. If I recall, I lost to a superior debater.
Francis, I never wanted to be class president. I needed it on my resume. It got me college scholarship.
That's fine. You chopped me up pretty good in our debate.
You do, you have to. I needed that scholarship. You had it made. Colleges were recruiting you for football. Our future got a full scholarship. What happened?
I blew it in my first year at Berkeley. Best thing that ever happened to me.
End of a football career? Best thing that ever happened?
End of one career and start of another. For the first time in my life, I had to open my eyes to something besides sports and found a whole world with so many problems. Environment, poverty, disease, human rights. At first, I was going to join the Peace Corps, but then I realized politics is the only real way to affect change. So here I am.
Francis, do you know what I remember most about you? Your good heart. Never an unkind word about anyone. I don't think there's one person on this planet you don't like.
I just believe deep down, we're all the same. Everyone has some good in them.
Oh yeah? Here's a test. What do you think of Adolf Hitler?
Confused and terribly misguided, but a great motivational speaker.
Francis, he killed millions of people. Don't you think he might have been just a tiny bit evil?
What he did was evil, but I can't help thinking he must have had a miserable childhood. Maybe he would have turned out entirely different if he had gotten some counseling from a Dale Carnegie or Tony Robbins.
When friends that influence people, Adolf Hitler, point proof. But you shouldn't believe everything you read in your history books.
It's nice to see you again. Do you realize that when this debate is over, one of us will be going to the White House?
Listen, you have to promise me one thing.
What's that?
No matter who wins, we'll still be friends.
Deal. Someone's coming. We better split.
And remember, friends.
Marcia, do I look presidential to you? Now be honest. Could you try to look a little more, I don't know, visionary? Remember, Harry, sincerity. They've got to believe that you believe what you're preaching. You've got to believe it.
Got it. Sincerity.
Work on it.
Marcia, on our way up, I couldn't help but notice our audience. They look very conservative.
Well, this is Davenport.
We need to let them know that while I may be a liberal, I'm a conservative liberal. Very conservative.
Right. Well, to them you come from a conservative family.
Marcia, have you got the good stuff?
Merry Christmas.
This is hot. You've got it all. His income taxes, voting record, even his nursing habits.
Yeah, read that there on the bottom.
What's this?
The smoking gun. Our honorable opponent is quite the philanderer.
You mean he gives money to worthy causes?
No, that's philanthropist. It seems our friend messes around with the ladies. That's a little affair he had. One of many, I might add.
You know I can't use this, Marcia. It would be unethical.
Yeah, right. Keep it for emergency. Here comes the kid.
Here he is, my good right arm, my research man. What have you got for me? Ma'am, I've got statistics on all the important issues. We're losing rainforests at an alarming rate. We're polluting the atmosphere and oceans. We're losing fishing stock. Every day, more species are becoming extinct.
Shocking. And we better win this election, or we'll become extinct.
We have got to get an administration that cares about these things. An administration that cares. I like that. Marcia, how does this sound? The candidate who cares.
Catchy. It could get us some votes. What else have we got?
Details for a new economic plan that creates more jobs along with a balanced budget. We have plans for an all-out war on poverty, welfare reform, and aid for senior citizens. Ma'am, we've got a platform that can change the world. Francis, I want to let you know how much we appreciate the work you've done for this debate, and I'm challenging you with a critical job in this debate. I want you to be in charge of my charts, my statistics, ma'am. I'll do my best, ma'am. Very good, Francis. Let's look this over. I need all of this information at the end of my years so voters will realize how smart I am.
Howdy, have cash here. A vote for me puts cash in your pocket. How about them Huskers? Aw, shucks. That was corny.
Well, it looks like we got a good crowd tonight.
Looks like a bunch of liberals to me.
Well, this is Davenport.
We'll have to let them know I may be conservative. I'm a liberal conservative.
Right. We'll tell them you come from a liberal family.
Rhonda, I've got to win tonight.
I know, sir.
I don't care what it costs.
I'm afraid money won't help. You're gonna have to convince this audience that you're the best man.
Oh my God. Do we have any of our people out there?
No, sir. They all look pretty honest to me.
Tough crowd, Rhonda.
Yes, sir. Like I said, you're gonna have to convince this audience that you're the best man. Cheer up. These good people will see right through her. You can beat her easily.
What have you been able to dig up, Rhonda?
Unfortunately, this was all I was able to find. There's not much dirt on this chick. There is something that might help, though. Look at the little item on the bottom.
This is dynamite, Rhonda. Did Harry really do this?
We've got proof, sir. I think you can really nail her.
Of course I could never use this. It's personal, dirty politics, and completely unethical.
Of course, sir. Come on over.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Mrs. Ranger.
My dear, what have you got for me?
We have developed a comprehensive 15-point platform. Of course, this is just a summary. Our plan is to stimulate the economy with a massive across-the-board tax cut. We have developed specific limits on the major areas of spending, including defense, Medicare, welfare, education, health, and government salaries. And here's our projected revenue. As you can see, there's quite a surplus, which can be used to reduce the national debt.
Rhonda, I can't understand a word of this.
Unfortunately, this is all too complicated for him. We're gonna have to condense it down to a few catchy slogans.
We also have a list of potential cabinet members, appointees for Secretary of State and Attorney General, and nominations for Supreme Court judges.
Ah, yes, my campaign contributors.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. How's the volume?
Volume good?
How's the lighting?
Lighting good?
Ready when you are.
On in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and action.
Good evening. I'm Jane Lever. This is the People's Broadcasting System presenting the town meeting. For the first time in our nation's history, the President of the United States will be elected live on national TV. A representative cross-section of citizens will be selected to elect our next president. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You are that cross-section. Now, our panel has served a field of presidential candidates and narrowed it down to two, a liberal and a conservative. These two will battle in a four-round debate. In round one, each will present their platform. In round two, we will ask the tough questions that most politicians don't want to hear. In round three, the candidates will challenge each other. And in round four, each will make a short summation. At the end of the debate, you will cast your vote. So listen carefully, for the future of our nation depends on your good judgment. We will now break for a short commercial.
And cut.
Candidates, before you start, you have a few minutes to get comfortable at your podium.
Marsha, how do I look?
Like you're made out of wood. Try to act like a human being. Say something and try to sound sincere.
Please, please, please vote for me.
For goodness sake, don't beg. Relax a little. Pretend like you're talking to your children.
I want all of you to finish your homework, eat your vegetables, and vote for mommy.
Vote for me and I'll make it worth your while.
No, since you're trying to buy their votes, you have to convince them that you're the best man. Try to sound like one of the people out there, an ordinary guy.
Folks, I'm just like y'all. A plain old country boy who happens to own a jet plane and several racehorses.
On in 10 seconds.
Okay, everyone, back to your quarters.
3, 2, 1, and action.
To the ladies and gentlemen in our audience and the millions watching our TV, on behalf of the Nevada State Game Commission and Budweiser, the king of beers, welcome to our main event. Tonight's contest is a four-round presidential debate for the championship of the nation. Debating out of the blue corner on your left left is our first challenger, hard-hitting Harry Harris. On your right in the red corner is our other challenger, smooth-talking Chad Cash. I'm giving each of you your instructions in your dressing rooms. I want to see a clean debate tonight. Now shake hands and come out swinging. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. Round one. Senator Herrick, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statement.
Hey you, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. You will not see any negative campaigning from me, nor will you see me denigrating my opponent in any way. I mean to convince you that our liberal programs are the best for America. I want to see our country return to the great democracy it was under leaders like George Washington, Abe Lincoln, and Michael Jordan. Now, we only have a limited amount of time to present our platform, so let's get right down to the specifics. Our platform covers 3 key areas: the economy, the environment, and Social Security. My team has made exhaustive studies of policies under conservative administrations, and we intend to show you the miserable job they have done and our plans to improve them. Francis, would you please bring up our charts? This is an example of the annual gross domestic product under a conservative administration. As you can see, we are headed towards the greatest recession in our country's history. Now, Francis, show them what the GDP will look like if I'm elected. 4 years of prosperity. Next chart, environment. You can't breathe. Under my administration, clean air. Now, this next chart is shocking. If you have young children with you, you might want to cover their eyes. Next chart, Francis. Senior citizens. Folks, they're dying. Soon they'll all be dead under a conservative administration. But under my administration, long, happy lives with their loved ones. Thank you, Francis. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the facts. You've seen the statistics. The evidence is as clear as a cold night on Mount Whitney. Life under a liberal administration is good. Folks, I want to be your president. Very badly.
Thank you, Senator Herrick. Mr. Cash, your turn.
Howdy. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the fact that you find my unworthy opponent's remarks so humorous. I too laughed at her ridiculous statistics. I too chuckled at the absurdity of her empty promises. But she did say one thing I can agree wholeheartedly with. I will not turn this debate into a mudslinging contest. I can find enough faults in my opponent's remarks to convince you that I am the man best fit to be your next president. I want you to judge us on the important things, like how we dress. Look at that slack-jawed, stiff-shouldered simpleton and ask yourselves, is this the leader America wants? Look at that suit. Wow, and pajamas that look better than that. But on to the issues. Our platform is clear. We are going to lower your taxes and raise your standards of living. You will have more money to spend that will spur the economy and create prosperity for everyone. Sharon, may I have our statistics? What have you got for education?
Increased by 17%.
How about defense?
Increased by 20%.
Environment?
23%, sir.
See that? And they say conservatives don't care about the environment. How about health?
Increased by 50%.
Now get this. We saved the best for last. We didn't forget about our older voters. Sharon, how much for Medicare?
Increased by 100%.
Wow, how to spec our budget, Sharon?
After factoring in projected revenue, we are forecasting a surplus.
Got that? A surplus. And how will we accomplish that?
By cutting government spending.
Thank you, Sharon. The exact details for this plan are contained in a white paper you will all receive later. Will it work, you may ask? Watch this. Sharon, where did you go to school?
Harvard, sir.
Harvard, ladies and gentlemen. Brains. You see that scrawny fellow over there next to hair? He went to Berkeley, in California. You figure it out? Do you want a platform from a Harvard scholar or a Berkeley hippie? Why, they were probably stoned on grass when they lived up that platform. Now, my honorable opponent made a lot of promises, but I'm sure as you fine Americans noticed, she never told you how she plans to pay for those programs. I'll tell you how. By raising your taxes. That's how. She'll get money from her liberal cronies by putting all you good people in the poorhouse. Tax and spend, as my good friend Rush Limbaugh says. This woman is going to bleed you, ladies and gentlemen, bleed you dry. After you surrender your hard-earned money and liberal taxes, you won't have enough money to feed your starving children. Now, my time is almost up, but let me tell you, the wonderful Americans who support my campaign. Here's a little letter I received from an old friend. In my opinion, Chad Cash is the most qualified candidate of President of the United States. We need a strong leader like Chad in these troubled times. He is not a crook. Signed, Richard M. Nixon, former President of the United States. He's dead. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, I have just received some very sad news. Let me read you one last recommendation from my good friend Rush Limbaugh. Whatever Chad says, I say ditto. Ladies and gentlemen, the decision you make tonight will be the most important of your lives. What will it be? Conservative or liberal? Freedom or slavery? The choice is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes round one. Thank goodness. I think we all need a rest. We will now break for a short commercial message.
Cut. Go to the extension commercial.
Francis, I want to apologize for those rude things Cash said about you at Berkeley. I want you to know I had nothing to do with them.
I guess you have to learn to be thick-skinned if you want to take part in campaigning.
It was unfair and downright snobbish to compare Harvard to Berkeley and then make you look like some kind of druggie.
I guess that's politics.
Politics my butt. Two grown adults act like babies. Shame on both of them.
I'm surprised Cash even noticed me.
You thought I never noticed you? Do you remember your last football game in high school?
Sure, but I'm surprised you do.
It was against Northeastern, our big rivals. We were losing by 12 points with only a few minutes left to go in the game. Easton's fans were cheering like mad. Our fans were filling the stadium. The players on our sidelines were hanging their heads. Even the coaches looked like they had conceded.
You do have a good memory.
Then it happened. There were only 3 minutes left to go when Easton fumbled. You came in, fired up the team, and ran for 2 touchdowns. The second one in the last play of the game. And we won, just like the movies. It was beautiful.
Gee, Sharon, I never knew you liked football.
I don't.
Places, everyone. It's almost showtime.
On in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and action.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Broad 2-Hour debate where we tackle the tough issues. I will ask each candidate a question. After they answer, their opponent will have 1 minute to respond. Let's find out what they really think. Senator Hare, how much have you spent on this campaign?
Not much, Jane. Not much at all. You know what they call me? The frugal candidate. Small TV ads, a radio ad here and there. Peanuts compared to my wealthy opponent.
Come on, Senator, you've got to be more specific than that.
Like I said, Jane, not much. Marcia, what was our campaign budget?
In the neighborhood of $154 million.
Nice neighborhood. Mr. Cash, same question.
Now, Jane, that's not a polite question. It's like asking an old lady her age. But I'm more than willing to answer it. We spend over $172 million, most of which was my own money. I'm not ashamed of being rich, Jane. I'm proud of it. Isn't this the American dream, that any man, regardless of his origins, can rise from poverty? I worked hard for my money.
His daddy gave it to him.
Next question. Mr. Cash, what is your position on abortion?
Unlike my wimpy opponent, I have the courage to tell everyone what I believe and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, so just what is your position?
Jane, I'm going to be as emphatic as I can. I'm going to say just 2 things. First, I'm pro-choice. Second, I'm pro-life. This is my position, and I'm willing to stick to it.
And a courageous position it is, squarely in the middle. Senator Hare, same question.
Jane, I've never ducked a tough question in my life. That's why they call me the courageous candidate. As I look into this audience, I see concern on your faces. Let me reassure and tell you, most emphatically, whatever your view may be,
I share it.
Final question. Senator Hare, what do you intend to do to combat terrorism?
Well, on my cabinet, we will appoint a terrorist expert. That way, we will know what the terrorists are planning next, so we can be ready for them.
Mr. Cash, third question.
Jane, as usual, we are light years ahead of Senator Hare and her cronies. I plan to appoint a terrorist to my cabinet. Then, when we want to know what they're planning, we'll just ask.
And if you refuse to answer,
We'll beat the crap out of them.
Yeah!
ladies and gentlemen, that concludes round 2. Thank goodness. We'll now begin 3, our punch counter punch round, where each candidate will make a statement and their opponent will have 1 minute to refute that statement. You first, Mr. Cash.
Liberals are a tax and spend party.
Not true. Francis, give us the tax statistics.
Taxes were higher in the George Bush senior administration than the Clinton administration.
My turn. Conservatives are destroying the environment.
Not true. Sharon, statistics.
More forests were in national parks under Reagan than Clinton.
Conservatives create more jobs than liberals.
Not true. Francis?
Unemployment was 3% under Clinton, 6% under George W.
My team of experts has analyzed your so-called platform. Any junior accountant can see your economic plan will never work.
How would you know? You never did a day's work in your life.
Watch it, you carrot chomper.
Your turn, Senator.
Well, my team has also analyzed your platform, and guess what? You have no plan for the environment.
I certainly do. My plan is to take all our toxic waste and shove it down your throat.
Right? It's a small change.
People, please. Senator Hare.
Liberals care more about the people. That's why we're called a democratic society.
You dummy, we're not a democracy, we're a republic.
How dare you call me a dummy? If you're 2 weeks left, you'd be declared brain dead.
At least I have a college degree. That's more than I can say for you, ma'am.
Sure you have a degree, paid for by your mommy and daddy.
You leave my mother out of this. She's one of our country's great patriots.
You're right there. She's been a friend to every sailor in the 6th Fleet.
You want a party? Huh? Where's my pay?
Time out! Back to your corners. That's a 1-point deduction for you, Senator. And a 1-point deduction for you, Mr. I'm warning you folks. If you can't conduct yourself like ladies and gentlemen, I'll disqualify you. Your turn, Senator, and keep it clean.
Now, I'm willing to stick to issues, like campaign funding. I challenge you, Mr. Cash, to tell us the real source of your campaign funds. Is it not true that your funding comes from big business? To be more precise, big oil? You, sir, are a puppet for the oil industry.
You dare talk to me about my campaign funding. Ma'am, is it not true that your real name is Tony Cornelio and you changed it to Harry Hare, a more American sounding name? Why? Because you wanted to hide the fact that your main support comes from the mafia, the mob?
You, sir, are a dead man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes round 3. Thank goodness. We'll now begin round 4, our the knockout rounds, where each candidate will make a short summation. You're first, Mr. Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only decision you have to make now is this. Who do you want to be your next president? My scumbag opponent, a flunky from the mob, or me, a highly successful businessman who can make it worth your while? All right, let's cut the crap. Standing just outside the door is my accountant. Sharon, how many people are here tonight?
100.
What's 100 times 25,000?
I thought you went to Harvard.
2.5 million.
Folks, I'm rich. 2.5 million is peanuts to me. We are prepared to pay every person who votes for me $25,000. Simply stop by my accountant on the way out. He's waiting in the lobby, checkbook in hand. And remember my campaign promise, a vote for me puts cash in your pocket.
Well, that was one of the most unusual summations I've ever heard. We'll now hear the closing statements from our final candidate, Senator Hare.
Talk about dirty politics. Sir, have you no honor? Now you see my opponent for who he really is, an unprincipled cad who will stoop to any level to buy your votes. Let's tell him that it won't work. You're all too smart for that. In fact, I'm so impressed with this audience, I'll tell you what. When you elect me president, I'm going to offer each and every one of you a position on my cabinet. You, sir, how would you like to be Secretary of State? You, ma'am, what's your name? Cindy Lou. How does Justice Cindy Lou sound? Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? There's room for all of you. I'm certain that I can count on your patriotism and your vote.
Senator Harris, your time is up.
And remember, I intend to be known as the generous president.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our debate. Thank goodness. We will now take a short break while my aides collect the ballots.
And cut. Go to the Bromo Seltzer commercial.
What? What do you mean we don't have any ballots? This is national TV, man. We can't conduct the presidential election without ballots. Improvise? What do you mean improvise? We can't afford ballots? Are you kidding? Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that we don't have any ballots. So we're going to have to improvise. If I could ask our two candidates to come forward one more time.
On in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and action.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to decide from your applause because we don't have any ballots. If I could ask our two candidates to stand side by side here. Everyone who wants this candidate to win, please applaud. And this candidate. The vote is so close, we must resort to a tiebreaker. I see our time is almost up. Call it, Senator.
Heads.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jane Lieber. Thank you and good night.
Just a minute, you.
Yes.
You're not leaving before I tell you exactly what I think of you and your campaign. In all my years in this business, I have never seen anyone sink lower. Talk about smearing people.
Thanks.
Congratulations on a great job. That was one of the dirtiest campaigns I've ever seen.
Coming from you, that means a whole lot. People don't realize how much effort and creativity it takes to smear someone.
Ain't that the truth?
What's happening to our country?
Business as usual.
It makes me sick to think of someone like those two running our country.
Francis, can it finally be you found someone you don't like?
I've had enough business as usual. I'm getting out of politics.
You're quitting? Things don't work out the way you think they should, and your solution is to give up?
Give me a break. What can I do?
Quit crying, get in the game.
This isn't some silly football game.
No, it's a lot more important than that.
So why did you get involved?
Because it's not right to just take and never give.
You mean we need our best people in politics, not our worst?
Right. Idealistic young people.
But where do we get these idealistic young people?
Well, how about you?
Me?
Sure, you're young, you're smart, you used to be idealistic.
But I've never held a political office. Where could I start?
Well, how about here? I understand there's going to be a little election here in Davenport pretty soon.
Davenport?
They're going to need a new mayor.
The place certainly does need cleaning up.
I could be your campaign manager.
You and me. Mayor, huh? Sounds pretty good.
You betcha.